Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for coming to the first of what will be 6 congressional district meetings for the Blue Ribbon Commission on Tax Reform, starting right here, Mr. Mayor, in your community here in Paducah. My name is Jerry Abramson. I'm the Lieutenant Governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and I'd like to introduce to you the individuals at the head table, starting at my left, your right. John Williams should be down there from Paducah. Yep. Leslie Weigel is here from Bowling Green. Representative Jim Wayne from Louisville. Dr. Sheila Schuster from Louisville. Senator Gerald Neal from Louisville. Is this a Louisville contingency? Carpooled. Bob Leeper, Senator Bob Leeper from Paducah. I should have said Senator Gerald Neal too, excuse me. Senator Leeper, it's good to be in your district. Jordan Walton, Rick Jordan will be here from up in northern Kentucky. Representative Bill Farmer from Lexington. Rocky Comito, could have been Rocky if you wanted to run someday, from Bullock County, Shepherdsville. Jason Bailey from Berea. And Rosalind Atkins from Lexington. We have a full complement of 23 members of this commission. 6 members are legislators or state senators. The Senate leadership was asked to appoint 2. The Senate minority leadership was asked to appoint 1. The House leadership was asked to appoint 2. The House minority leadership was asked to appoint 1. It gives us an opportunity to have them with us. They will not be voting members as we develop a consensus among the men and women on the commission, the remaining, is that 17 if I'm right, 17 and 6. But they are here because we have chairman of the in the Senate, we have the chairman of the Budget Committee with your own Senator Leeper, and we have the chairman of the House Budget Committee, Representative Rand, who was unable to be with us today. We also have in the room today Mayor Paxton, always wonderful to be in your community, Bill. Senator Ken Winters is here. Senator, good to see you again after we opened up the bridge, and I guess it's still standing over there at good. Edgar's Ferry. I love it. Jim Glenn, Representative Glenn, who also was with us. Where do I miss? Oh, there you are. How are you, sir? Always good to see you. Councilman Gerald Watkins is here from the City Council. Senator Bob Leeper, as I introduced Gerald Neal already. Any other elected officials? Okay. We also have the Commissioner of Revenue here, Tom Miller. Tom is here. There he is. And the Secretary of the Finance Cabinet, Lori Flannery, is here. Lori's on one side. We also have members of the Kentucky Bar Association and the Kentucky Society of CPAs, and we appreciate you all taking the time to be with us. So we welcome you all. As I said, this is the first of what will be 6 of our opportunities to listen. We have already met 3 times. We've had Tax Introduction Course 101, Tax Introduction Course 102, and the third meeting we had gave us an opportunity to hear from academics, from different public policy professors from some of our public universities. So now we begin the public hearing. This meeting is called to discuss, to give you all an opportunity to present any tax-related recommendations to the Commission. For those that are interested in presenting to the Commission, you should have signed up before you walked in. If you haven't, Ashley is right here in the front and should be more than happy to take your name to be able to put you on the list of speakers. We had several that signed up by email, by the web, and I hope they're here. And then we had several that have joined that list since coming into the meeting. We also gave out pieces of paper that you can, if you want to submit your comments but not make an oral presentation, please feel free to take one of those documents, write it out today, and submit it again to Ashley or to Katie, who's on the front row over here, and we'll take it back and make sure all the commission members receive a copy. You also can get on the web anytime you're so inclined, ltgovernor at kentucky.gov. Did I say that right? ltgovernor.ky.gov. So if, as the summer goes by and you read about other hearings and something comes to mind that you'd like to share with us, please feel free to get online and do just that. Now, here's the process that we're going to do. I'm going to call the names. I have the names of the individuals who have signed up. I'll call the person that's going to speak, and then I'll call 2 on-deck individuals, just so that they know they're next, so that we move as quickly as possible to ensure that everyone has an opportunity to be heard. So the amount of time allotted is based on the number of speakers that have signed up. We're going to be here for a couple of hours, and it looks like right now we're probably going to start about 5 minutes each for you to speak. 5 minutes may not sound that long, but it's pretty long, as you know, Senator. Chad All, who is right there, Chad All's right here, he will give you a 30-second heads up, and then we'll tell you the 5 minutes is over. Again, as you leave, you can sign up to receive email addresses from us in terms of anything and everything that's going on with the Tax Reform Commission. We'll be more than happy to keep you advised, let you know where we are, what we're doing. Also, we have with us, and we're fortunate, we have a consulting group that now is joined with us. We have 2 professors who were selected from a competition, 2 public policy professors from the University of Kentucky, and 1 public policy tax guru from the University of Tennessee. And they make up the consulting team that will be meeting with us, listening, learning, and setting forth the approach that they believe or the ideas that they have for us to respond. The governor's charge to this commission is as follows. He wants to see a tax code that is more competitive, that is more fair, that is more simple and easy to comply with, that is elastic, so that over the years, our tax code actually did pretty good for us as the recession hit. But as we get better and as we're coming out of the recession, the question is, how will that tax code support education and social services and state police and the kinds of things that Kentuckians all rely on? And finally, adequacy. Those are the issues that we're looking at in terms of what changes should be proposed, whether it's sales tax, whether it's income tax, whether it's corporate tax, and it goes on and on and on. We're open to any discussion that you have regarding any issue you'd like to talk about dealing with tax reform. If you're okay with that, the commissioners are ready. Are we okay? Everybody okay? And we're going to listen and look forward to hearing from each of you. The first person to speak, and if I mispronounce your name, please excuse me. It looks like Neil Archer. Neil, you're up. You're first. Thank you. Oh, and Representative Yance has just walked in. Representative Yance, thank you for coming over. Mr. Archer, welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for. Is it going to? We're going to have to hold it.
Probably be better.
All right. Well, it's not legal. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak to you this evening. I am Neil Archer, and I am the chair of the McCracken County Board of Education. So, as you can well be aware, that I'm going to talk about the issues with education and probably not so much on the taxes. Over the past 5 years, we have seen a gradual decrease in funding in the school system. Our issue today is that what we don't receive from the state that we used to receive is now causing us issues with our local tax funding. So we either get it from the state or we get it from the local taxing district. Now, my concern...
Let me hold up. We're not getting a very clear... Can you all hear? Okay, well, you're all hearing it. We're not hearing it very clearly up here. Maybe if you hold the mic directly in front of you.
All right.
There you Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Archer.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Anyway, as I started to say, I am the chair of the board of the McCracken County Board of Education, and I'm here this evening primarily to tell you where we are in the current taxing scenario. What taxes we get from the state or what funding we get from the state is augmented by what we get in property taxes. Our concern is in a decreasing tax support or funding that we get from the state is beginning to tell on our general funding. So as we work into each year, our revenues are gradually decreasing. Now, about 5 years ago, we started to reduce staffing. Our staffing requirements used to be about 80-some% of our general budget. Today, it's less than 65%, and it's about as lean as we can possibly get it. That having been said, our primary concern is how do we keep a school system functioning with an ever-decreasing funding stream? For us, I think the taxing issue probably is one is that we either have to decide what is important and fund it and discard those things that have less than a number one priority in education. Now, as everybody in your panel knows, Senate Bill 1 just took effect a year ago, and that has been a very expensive process for each school district, and I'm sure you'll hear this probably in every one of your meetings. So that what we're doing is we're funding Senate Bill 1 with local revenues, and that includes everything from classroom supplies to professional development and all of those transportation, whatever goes with that bill. So our concern is, do we stay the course with what we have, or are we going to be able to see in the near future more expenditures going towards education? Now, for us, it's kind of a no-brainer. We need to have the funds to maintain the position we have and to advance the state educationally. If we don't have those funds, then we need to look at what is really important. And when I say that, I mean from the state level, what is really, really important, and what can we possibly not support tax-wise in the near future. So you all have the information that I submitted to you. You'll see it's kind of a disappointing set of numbers. But those are the things I think for us in McCracken County that we are seriously concerned at. And I would imagine I could ask almost any superintendent of any school district in Western Kentucky, and he'll probably give you the very, very same answer. I want to thank you for your time. If you have any questions,
Mr. Archer, we're really not going to have a dialogue, but are there any specific tax changes that you would recommend that would respond to your concern?
You mean as far as state taxes go? I don't, that's not a part that I'm privy to. I don't know where the bulk of your revenue really comes from, because there are so many areas that you collect taxes from. I'm not sure where a certain specific tax could be increased or decreased or changed to make that work. But thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Amy Barkey is next with Shannon Stiglitz on deck. Amy Barkley, want to talk about tobacco tax, you said in your email.
Thank you all very much for allowing us an opportunity to speak. I'm with the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids. We're a national organization dedicated to reducing tobacco use. I know you've heard possibly a little bit about tobacco taxes from the revenue angle, and I will touch on that based on our experience in a number of other states. But I also wanted to outline some of the other benefits of tobacco taxes as you consider the variety of options before you. First of all, I should say we talk about tobacco taxes in terms of them being a win-win-win, because it's a win for public health. It is a proven way of reducing smoking, particularly among kids and pregnant women. It's a win for state budgets because it does produce new revenue, and it also results in health care cost savings because of the declines in smoking. Also, it's a win among voters. This is a tax that is broadly supported by the public. The last time we did a poll here in Kentucky was 2008, and we found that 69% of registered voters supported a tobacco tax increase of $1 a pack. We got far less than that, but that was the amount that 69% of the public supported, the voting public. And that was broad support across all parties, demographics, and so forth. So it's unlike a lot of taxes, it is pretty popular with voters. Currently, the national average for cigarette taxes is $1.47. As you know, Kentucky's is 60 cents a pack, And just today, the state of Illinois increased their tobacco tax by $1. So they now have a cigarette tax of $1.98 a pack. So that will bring the national average, the current national average of $1.47 up at least a little bit. Since 2002, we've seen 47 states and the District of Columbia increase their cigarette taxes 105 times. And as you know, can you hear okay? No.
They're still having difficulty in hearing you in terms of the echoes. What if you and I change mics? Mine seems to be a little...
It will not help?
Okay.
Oh.
Let him get something in.
Okay, I know they can hear, but you all can't. That's important. Okay, thanks. Is this better? Right. Well, as I said, we look at tobacco taxes as a win-win-win because of the health benefits. It's a proven way to reduce smoking. It does generate new revenue and also produces healthcare cost savings. And it's popular among voters. And I can provide that polling data later if you're interested. As I mentioned, the current state cigarette tax average is $1.47, but with Illinois' increase today of $1, it has not been signed yet. But once that's in effect, the average will be even higher. Our current tax, as you know, is 60 cents a pack, so less than half the national average. And since 2002, 47 states and the District of Columbia have increased their cigarette taxes 105 times. And as you know, here in Kentucky alone, we increased our tax in both 2005 and 2009. Currently, we rank 40th among the states in our cigarette tax level. And if we were to increase the tax on cigarettes by $1 a pack, we would still be kind of in the middle of the pack. At $1.60, we'd be ranked 20th. And again, our interest in this is that it's a proven way to reduce smoking, particularly among kids and pregnant women. But if you don't believe my organization, the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, the American Heart Association, Cancer Society, and so forth, you do have some information here where the tobacco industry agrees that this is a very effective way to reduce smoking, particularly if the increase is high enough. So a host of folks, expected and unexpected, do acknowledge that this is a good way to reduce smoking. And it's pretty obvious as the price of something goes up, the sales or consumption generally go down. I have some charts and things that I'll be emailing you all that I think really do tell that story. And it's not just consumption or sales declines. It does reduce prevalence. You know, not just the number of cigarettes that people are buying in the state, but their actual use of cigarettes. In fact, quit line, call volume, and so forth goes up considerably after a cigarette tax increase because it is a motivator for people who want to quit. In terms of youth smoking, that's where we really see the greatest benefit. In fact, just as an example, when prices are stagnant, then we see smoking rates be stagnant. So between 1997 and 2003, and you have to remember that the tobacco settlement was during that period, 1998, the price of cigarettes rose by 90%, and high school smoking declined by 40%. But then since 2003, or between 2003 and 2008, when we didn't see as many cigarette tax increases or other increases, the price increased by 17%, and high school smoking decreased by only 11%. So it's a pretty dramatic difference there. And again, adult smokers are not as sensitive because of the addictive nature of the products, but they are sensitive to a degree, much less than children and pregnant women. So a good way to look at it is that if you look at all the various studies that have been done, for every 10% increase in the price of cigarettes, we see a 7% decline in youth smoking, a 2% decline in adult prevalence, and a 4% decline in overall consumption. And really, as health organizations, we like to point out that you really do need a significant increase of $1 or more, and some states are doing that, as you heard, because often the cigarette companies are able to offset the effect of a smaller increase. In fact, our last increase of 30 cents was a lot less than some of us would have liked, but it was combined with a pretty significant increase in the federal tax. And so we don't really know yet what the impact on youth smoking rates are going to be, but I think we can expect some pretty considerable declines, again, because of the combination of our fairly slight increase and the larger federal increase that did result in a real price increase. If you do a small amount, like 30 cents, the companies can often do discounting or provide coupons and things like that to essentially offset the price increase. So that would still bring the state more revenue, but it wouldn't have the health benefit that we're looking for. Again, taxes are most effective with kids and pregnant women as well as lower income populations because they're more price sensitive, obviously. And so there's a direct correlation with youth prevalence, as I said, and the price of cigarettes. And I really do want to emphasize the impact on pregnant women because here in Kentucky we have a 24% rate of smoking among pregnancy, considerably higher than the national average. The national average is 10% of pregnant women who smoke. Here it's 24.4%. And what we have found is that pregnant women respond 3 to 4 times more to a price increase than the general population. So pregnant women and kids responded about the same level. So those are the ones that are most effective. And then as far as revenue is concerned, which you all know, which you all are very concerned about today, it is a stable source of revenue. Obviously, it's going to decline, and that's what we want. As smoking declines, the revenues will decline, but they are very gradual and predictable. We really are able to predict the rate of decline, generally speaking. We wish we would have more impact, but generally maybe 3, 4, 5% decline in any given year. So it's something that you can predict with certainty. It is adjustable, unlike a lot of other taxes, or you can offset declines by increasing it again. Because again, even with a $1 increase, we would be, right in there with a number of other states. And then finally, I don't want to neglect the healthcare cost savings because once declines in consumption start to impact the revenue, that's when you're going to start seeing the longer-term healthcare cost benefits. So if you really look at what Kentucky experienced with the last increase, what we saw the year before taxes were the last cigarette tax increase was that we had right after the increase, I should say, we had a 62% increase in revenue collected and a 20% decline in pack sales. So we really saw a considerable increase. Even with the decline in consumption, we saw an increase in revenues. And I'm going to provide you all with a chart that's really interesting because, again, what we've done is we've projected what would have happened had we not increased the tax, and then what happened when we did increase the tax. And there's still a big gap there of additional revenue. So as an example, Kentucky collected 122 additional millions of dollars after the increase, despite the declines in consumption. So I'll be able to provide lots of information in addition to cross-border sales information for you all, too. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Barkley. Shannon Stiglitz, followed by Marie McMillan and Larry Davis. Ms. Stiglitz?
Thought mine might be short enough to reach the mic. Hi, my name is Shannon Stiglitz. I am the Director of Governmental Relations for the Kentucky School Boards Association. And I'm here tonight representing a coalition of education groups from the school administrators, the School Councils Association, the School Superintendents, the Parent Teachers Association, the Kentucky Education Association, and the Pritchard Committee. And we wanted to talk to you today about the need to develop comprehensive tax reform to make sure that it is adequate to fund the needs of the education in Kentucky. And that's our most important thought. Following the most recent Senate Bill 1 passage, we were so proud to be the first state in the nation to adopt the new Common Core standards. And we're so excited about where Senate Bill 1 is going to take us. And we know that CARA took us from big leaps in 1 year, not that all the work that we've done in education took us from 24th in the nation to 14th. And I bet if you asked any Kentuckian on the street where you rank 14th, education might not be the place where they come from, where they would think of first. So we are very proud of where we have come, and we want to go further. And we know that education is the best economic development tool we have to move the Commonwealth forward. With that being said, we have great goals to meet, but we have great concerns about how we're going to get there. Teachers are redesigning instructional programs and practices to meet the needs of Senate Bill 1, and we want them to continue to do so, but we lack the funding for professional development, as our professional development funds have been cut. Preschool cuts have been even deeper, even though we know that preschool is one of the great equalizers and that it is the best intervention and reduces achievement gaps for the future. The technology and internet funding. We are going to a one-to-one computer device, laptop device, iPad device. That is the world in which we are moving towards. And we can't stop now. We must continue to fund technology. The need for ESS, extended school services, the idea of the wraparound services for the child so that a child who may be behind gets summer learning, a child who may be behind gets after school assistance, and those programs need to continue. It was one of the tenets of CARA. So we ask that you consider the staff cuts that we've made, the class size increases that we've made, the elimination of programs that we've had to consider. If you look across this region, I'm sure every day there's a new headline about cuts that school districts have had to make to staff, and we don't want to keep doing that. We want to continue to grow and staff appropriately for children. So we ask you today, the biggest thing we ask for is we don't have suggestions on how you get there or how to build the bus, so to speak, but what we do ask is that when you build it, that it is enough to provide the educational needs for our communities and Kentucky's children. And that is all I have. We did submit some charts and stuff for your review. Thank you.
Thank you, Thank you, Ms. Stiglitz. Next is Maria McMillan, followed by Larry Davis and Steve Shannon.
Good evening. I'm Marie McMillan. I'm a school teacher here in Western Kentucky. I've been teaching for 25 years. The last speaker eloquently told you what we needed the tax reform for. I have no idea how you're going to do it, but I want to put a face to what she was talking about. As a school teacher, I have students who come to me who the night before didn't have dinner. My first concern is, are they dressed? Did they have a place to sleep? Did they sleep? And did they have food in their stomach before they came to my classroom? I can't do my job until that has happened. Our family service centers take care of that for me. All I have to do is get in touch with her. She is at the home talking with the parents. This last year alone, I have found 3 of my students that the parents had moved in, they didn't know about our services here in this area, and they had no dinner for their children. She put them in touch with the agency so that they could have food on the table for those kids. My children need extra help. I go early, I stay late with no compensation. Most of our teachers do. 5 years ago, I was able to do a summer program for my students. Normally, students don't want to go to summer school. Most of mine did. They asked me, when can I come back next year? Are you going to do this? I've learned so much this summer. And I had to tell them we can no longer afford it. Look in a middle school child's eyes who has not succeeded in school and tell me personally how I'm supposed to tell them I can't help them next summer. I can't give them the one-on-one they need because we don't have the money for them. I would rather that you come up with a tax reform that educates our kids than pay for prisons and welfare later. Our children need your help. Kentucky's teachers pay out of pocket thousands of dollars a year. My own daughter, who's 25, when we go to the store, will say, Mom, what are you getting that for? And all I have to say is my kids, and she knows. Because my 120 students are my kids. I'm their mom at school. They come to me with every problem they have. I want to continue helping my kids, but I need your help. Our children need your help. They have to have these services. There have not been new textbooks in 8 years. A lot of things have happened in that time. Pluto's no longer a planet. We don't have those new textbooks. We don't have money for our preschool and our full-day kindergarten that we know has to be for these kids to make it in today's world. I have students that I have to schedule a time in a computer lab or they don't get time on a computer. In today's world, some of you have 2 or 3 computers, laptops, or iPads. Imagine never having one in front of you unless the teacher takes you to the lab. We have to do this for our children. Thank you.